Heads up! This podcast contains infrequent informal language. Please proceed with due caution.
This is Prompt Songs Podcast.
Welcome to... Sorry.
No, sorry, I'm still eating the purple Skittle.
We're not sponsored.
I don't know. It's just
Title of the episode.
We're not sponsored.
But if we could be.
We're not sponsored by Skittles. That would work legally, wouldn't it?
No, that would be super illegal.
Okay.
I think. I mean,
Well,
I'm
see,
guessing.
Monty Python tried to call their show, You Can't Call a Show Cornflakes. That was the title.
Oh, okay.
So it was either Cornflakes or You Can't Call a Show Cornflakes.
It's legal to say we aren't sponsored by Skittles, but it's illegal if we are sponsored by Skittles. That's what I thought.
Oh, okay. We're not sponsored by Skittles.
Yeah.
So
So we could say that.
we can say
But I
that.
thought you meant if we had a Skittle sponsorship, could we say we're not sponsored by Skittles, which we could not.
Oh, okay.
No. Well, we don't have a...
We don't have any sponsorship, especially by Skittles. So is that the we're already done. Okay, see you next episode. Yeah, so welcome to Prompt Songs Podcast After Dark. This is the latest we've recorded the show.
Yeah.
Hectic day, a lot of tractors on the motorway, as is tradition in New Zealand.
And a lot of fried rice.
Yeah, you ate a big plate of fried rice.
First world problem is food coma, you know.
Yeah. My voice is a little bit lower. I am sick, not with the COVID, not confirmed, not sponsored by Skittles. So that will explain a few things in my songs and my voice currently. It's been a while. I find myself saying that a lot. Adam and I, last week, we went through all of the songs from the show.
All right.
And that was like
Cool.
going down memory lane and being like,
Yeah.
That was really
there's
cool.
some really cool ones here.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
As for the others,
No, it was fun. We just were listening to all our old music, from Red Letter Day.
Oh, wow.
We listened to some of that. We listened to
listen to our
old,
entire Mosaic 93
Yeah.
album, mosaic93.bandcamp.com.
and then we just started listening to prompt songs and being like, oh, this
remember
one's my
this one?
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it'd be like, oh, I forgot this one that Sam wrote, but why? How did I forget it?
How does things stack up to... Because I find when you listen to things later, it can either be surprisingly good or surprisingly not as good as you remember it.
I think
Yeah,
we were
I
more
think-
surprised in a good way.
Yeah,
cool.
definitely.
Yeah.
I think for certain prompts, I was like, man, I did not put much into this. But then I listened to the song, I was like, oh, it's kind of good.
Yeah, I have mine that are either 30 seconds or 7 minutes, so
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I tend to fall more into favour of the 7-minute ones. Yeah. Right, should we just jump in?
Yeah, sure. Who wants to go
Sure.
first?
So last episode, our friend Dylan Zekin challenged us to write an Ed Sheeran song that he would like. Whereas my personal problem with Ed Sheeran, not personally, I'm not sponsored by Ed Sheeran, is just sheer overexposure. He writes good songs, but when I went to write my Ed Sheeran song, it was like I couldn't research it because I've already heard them enough. I don't want to hear them again.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll get to that. Sam, you volunteered to go first over dinner for some reason?
Did I? Also, I should probably say the subject is alcoholism.
Oh, yes.
That we had to write about.
Thank you for reminding me. Alcoholism is a very serious problem. We are not making jokes about this.
So this is my song called Toxicity. Maybe I should talk about this a little bit before.
Yeah, so in your opinion, what makes an Ed Sheeran song other than Ed Sheeran singing it?
Well, my approach to this was, I generally do my songs for this way, in the sense that I wrote the lyrics first, just try to keep the sentences a reasonable similarity in length or just have a sort of scansion to the words. I learned that word recently.
Been dying to use it.
Yeah, so that I know that it's going to fit into a bar or meter or a chord structure, and then I write the music around it. And it's a very stripped back recording. It's just one guitar and singing. I was intending on going in and layering in some more melody lead parts, but it's really just the Ed Sheeran rhythm. We were talking about this before.
Yeah.
He does that, and
you can keep.
and yeah, so I pretty much play that through the entire song and then just sang my words over the top, and yeah, hope you enjoy it.
So what was it called again?
Toxicity.
An old friend came by today. Hit it off like it was only yesterday. Took me back to a time when everything was okay. Forgot why I forced you away. When I'm desperate, fond memories play. And turn down the volume on what worried people say. I feel lighter, I feel brighter with you. I should fight ya, but you already broke through. Toxicity running through my veins. Took advantage of my pain. I thought I'd have fun for a night. I thought that it'd be alright. Toxicity building in my mind. Don't wanna leave this place behind, but no, no. It'll take all I have to make you go. Some nights I lie awake, wondering if you would help me drift away. Untie the knots that hold me in this place. I don't have the strength to hold you away. Come rushing in like a tidal wave. Feel like I'm drowning with and without you. I feel lighter, I feel brighter with you. I should fight ya, but you already broke through. Toxicity running through my veins. Took advantage of my pain. I thought I'd have fun for a night. I thought it'd be alright. Toxicity building in my mind. Don't wanna leave this place behind, but I know, no. It'll take all I have to make you go. Ooh.
So how many weeks is that going to be number one on the Billboard chart?
Yeah, really nice.
I think he really
cool.
nailed like the inflection of his voice. Like whenever we do songs like this, I try to imagine like, can that person we're trying to personify sing this and it not sound weird in my head? Like you nailed it with Mark Knopfler. Last episode, and that I think is quintessential Ed Sheeran vocalisms.
All right.
And before I forget, nice dudes reference in
Yeah.
the chorus
Awesome.
with Bliss.
Yeah, that was kind of something I feel like I wrote it and then noticed afterwards. Or like,
Subconscious.
yeah, it was just kind of like, oh, Ryan's going to pick up on that. Okay, I'll leave it in.
Of course I am.
And With or Without You was kind of like intentional as well. Like as I was writing it, I knew it was a reference.
Is that song about alcohol though? I thought it was about a relationship.
No, it's not.
Yeah. I like the way that you've made alcohol the partner of the person in the song.
Yeah, it's like a toxic relationship
Yeah.
This is very early Ed Sheeran. This would go well on his first album. I
when it
think.
was all acoustic still.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much studio time budget yet.
Yeah. We gotta record them all in 2 nights and
I'm always in awe of your vocals. They're really
thanks.
consistent and nice and warm, and just really awesome singing all the time on your tunes. It's so cool.
Oh, cool.
And in terms of the mix, is there very little like compression and EQ going on there?
I can't really remember. I think I just mainly use presets, to be honest. But with my voice, I notched down I noticed at about 10k. There's like this sizzle in my voice, and it comes through really loud on some notes. So I just took that out a bit.
There's a thing called a de-esser, and that's what it's for.
Yeah.
It's for all the sh and s sounds. And
Well,
so that's if you grab that one, it will take it out.
it's not just when I'm doing those sounds though, it's when I'm singing notes, like pitches.
Oh, interesting.
And I've noticed it even on phone recordings.
Okay.
So I think it's just in my voice somehow.
Yeah, well, the reason I bring it up is because when I was doing my songs, over the years I've been over-editing, I've come to realise. Like,
Oh, right.
when I do the background music for this show, this week, I didn't really do anything. Maybe a bit of light compression, tape saturation. And then
Right.
I was like, wow, the tones are so much purer than if I compress it, it makes it muddier and all that kind of stuff. So I'm always learning.
Yeah, I can't remember. I didn't do that much really, but I definitely put low focus setting on the guitar to try and get more bass, because it's just my classical guitar lined in straight into the desk. Yeah, I had a hard time because the mic and the guitar picks up the noise of you like touching the strings and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And with palm muting, because I was palm muting for most of that, my hand was slipping on the string and making like sound. So I had to like hold it dead still and just use my fingers to do the strumming.
Some people really like it though, but for some people it can be like nails on a chalkboard kind of thing, and it takes them out of it.
It was really loud. It was like almost as loud as the guitar sound
Oh,
itself.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and like sometimes when you notice someone breathing in when they're singing, sometimes
Yeah.
you pick up on that, and then that's all you can think about when you hear the song and stuff.
I struggle
like
to
that.
listen to Muse now.
Well,
because
see,
of
I
that.
was going to bring that up because Adam told me once that he can't listen to music because Matt Bellamy does such sharp intakes of breath.
Yeah, sort of ruins it.
My
for you,
favourite
you
one,
guys.
I did a session down in the South Island, and it was a duo. Both of them played guitar and sang. But Jamie, the engineer with me, he pulled me in because he was like, just listen to this guitar track, and it was a strummed thing. And I was like, yeah, sounds good. He's like, but can you hear the frog? The plectrum over the strings every now and then would make a croak.
Oh,
and after that,
yeah.
that's all we could hear in the song.
Oh man, yeah.
In a funny way, but you know,
Yeah.
once it's pointed out, that's all you can hear.
Well, in this song actually, because you mentioned my vocal, there's one note that's flat in the first pre-chorus, and I was like, every time I hear it, I'm like, oh jeez, I need to go back and fix that.
It's raw. No, it's raw. You were drunk at the time. Me or you?
Cool.
Oh, up to you.
I feel like I haven't gone last in a while, so I'll let you go.
Okay. My Ed Sheeran song is really playing off that rhythm that we talked about, which is like, at its core, it's just dun 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 dun.
Oh, like
dun,
the
dun,
shape
dun.
of you.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
mine's the slowed down version of
Yeah,
that same
exactly.
rhythm.
And I did not do any Ed Sheeranism at all.
That might be the only thing Ed Sheeran about my song, because I didn't really overthink it. I just went, you know what? I know he loves this rhythm, and he came out with a new song 2 weeks ago, and I was like, does it have that rhythm in it? And it does. It's just displaced by a quaver.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
But you can use it as an excuse that Dylan, if it's not too similar to an Ed Sheeran song, then Dylan might like it.
Yeah, I forgot about the Dylan liking it part. I actually ended up writing a reggaeton song,
Oh
which
right.
is like dancehall reggae music. Nothing like Ed Sheeran would like, and I don't think Dylan would like it either.
Well, I feel like Ed's branching out into
yeah.
other
Well,
genres now,
Shape
so he
of You
could.
is a full-on reggaeton song. So
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
That's his biggest song.
That's not a normal pop
love
like
divine.
vocalization. We're not sponsored by Ed Sheeran. We're not sponsored by reggaeton.
So yeah, let's just listen to it, and you guys can tell me how much Ed Sheeran you think it is or is not. It's called.
Drain the Bottle.
Yeah.
Mine's got the word bottle in the title as well.
Vodka, whiskey, Jaeger, absinthe,
Cool.
That was an awesome line.
Yeah. I
When
like
you drain the bottle,
Oh,
the
yeah.
bottle drains you too.
It's basically an idea that was in that book, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's written by this guy Ken Casey, and he was like real into psychedelics and stuff.
Right.
So there's lots of like stuff that's inspired by psychedelics in that book. And one of the things is there's this one guy who's in this mental asylum, and he saw his dad like slowly get drained away by alcoholism, and he was talking
Right.
about, I saw him drinking from the bottle, but it seems like the bottle was draining out of him.
I'm
So
sure
that-
there's artworks that are like that as well.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I got that idea from. It's like a really powerful, strong image.
I think I saw an image like that online last week. It was someone, like just the torso and above, drinking the bottle, and then inside the bottle, filling it, was the face of the person drinking.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
that's art I get. Not like a Jackson Pollock or anything. We are not sponsored by Jackson Pollock.
That was, yeah, I liked it. I think it was pretty close to a thing that he would write. I think it's
I agree,
the
yeah.
only thing I think that detracted from the Ed Sheeran-ness was just the organ sound.
Oh, right, yeah.
I think if you had that exact same track but it had like acoustic guitar playing instead, it would be Ed Sheeran
Fully Ed
vibes.
Sheeran.
Because
Oh,
he
yeah.
uses that beat a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but
And I
I,
can
I
imagine-
like the organ though. It
Yeah,
sounded
no,
cool.
I love the organ, and
It's
that's
just
just like...
It's very you, and it's important
Yeah,
that there's
it's-
you in there as well.
It's just the least Ed Sheeran-y aspect. to
But it
me.
sounds really fucking
But it does
cool.
sound cool, yeah.
I now have this mental image of Ed Sheeran in the studio with a big blunt, and he's dressed in like Kingston colours. And the studio producer's like, "Are you sure, Ed?" And he's like, "Trust me."
I think the other thing about my song is like there's a really big difference between like the musical content and the lyrical content. The musical content is a real party, and then the lyrical content is like about alcoholism. It's
Quite
like,
a
Well,
few
you
songs
listing
do
off the alcohols, that was very much in tune of your last YMO song.
oh yeah,
Listing the letters of the word.
There's a few songs that do that, like, you know, Hey Ya by Outkast is actually about like bad relationships.
oh real.
And it actually says in the song something about like, you won't hear what I say because you just want to dance.
All right.
But he's actually talking about these really deep subject matter.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Right.
the Beths kind of have built their entire lyrical catalogue on that. Happy sounding songs with very relatable, not depressive, but feeling low kind of lyrics. Happy, unhappy, future me hates me.
Yeah, and actually the newest Paramore album is a bunch of like quite poppy indie sounding songs, and then Hayley Williams, that's her name, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just went through a divorce and stuff, so all the lyrics are like really like down, like, about how hard life is and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think it's a good formula because if you have,
Juxtaposition.
if you have a down lyric and a down track, then it's like all down.
Yeah. Oh,
Then,
yeah.
then you get something like Hurt by Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or if
true.
you have a happy lyrics and a happy sounding music.
Then you have ska music.
Yeah, basically. Or you have Disney soundtracks. So.
Which are
Let
also
it go,
cool.
Sam. We are not sponsored by Disney. All right, my one. The only thing I didn't manage to do because of the cold gone the way I always do backing vocals last, and I didn't manage to because this voice. For me, the most Ed Sheeran thing about it is I can imagine him singing like this. Other than that, I'll explain that at the end. This is called Baby in a Bottle, and I want to give credit to my friend Matthew from school. I won't give his full name, but Matthew wrote a short story once and told me about it, and the idea is reflected in these lyrics.
Hey, so
Baby in a Bottle.
So we're both inspired by literature.
We're very Renaissance men.
Yes.
I got a craving for those Friday nights again. Those ones that end up outside drunken fights, but his spirits will always lift me. I get a thirst that I can only quench with her. Sweet lips she doesn't shades of cherry red. And when she's gone, I have a headache again. I hit the bottle, you hit the door. I call for more as I roll on the floor. You take the keys and leave in the car. I'm on my knees as I crawl to the bar. Sunshine on those cloudy days. Your light. Tidal tsunami washing out the grace. But I'm staring down porcelain. I press my lips to yours and I feel cold. Refreshed. Such a strong taste is your liquid gold. My wallet's feeling empty again. I drop the bottle, head out the door. Don't make it home before I hit the floor. Awake in darkness, head spins in pain. Counting the days till I drink again. Drinking and nights on the phone, not stopping till my memory's gone. Clear vodka, some gin in my gut. Water bottles of work will do the job. Wake up to broken mirrors and bones, fresh cuts, bruises and shattered bones. My friends don't call me no more. Drink away the pain till I'm not so.
So a note to anyone who is going to make music: if you do your vocal when there's only acoustic guitar, and then you add electric instruments later on, it's going to sound very pathetically weak. So maybe do your vocals last.
I like that section change. That was really cool.
That's for Dylan. I think Dylan would like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's something that Ed doesn't do, which is rock out.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I reckon he could.
Yeah, he goes down the whole like hip hop vibe a lot now, eh?
Yeah, I think he's very influenced by it, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, you pointed out the similarities between our lyrics. We both said tidal wave.
Yeah.
And then you also pointed out earlier on Friday night, because it is Friday night here, but in my Pink Floyd song, The Waiting Room, I'm sorry to disturb you so late this Friday night.
Oh yeah.
It's part of the universe, baby!
RCU.
So while my character from The Waiting Room is dying of a gunshot wound, Ed Sheeran's needing his stomach pumped.
Yeah, no, it's cool. You guys both had a bit of a like dub reggae.
I totally forgot that I did, and then I played and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say you also had the kind of upbeat thing with the down vocals.
That was kind of like the feeling of drunkenness for that, because all the highs fade away and everything becomes low and fuzzy and
true.
A lot of like pokey sounds and poppy and bubbly word painting, sound painting.
Oh, cool.
In that last section,
Yes.
is it called a Charleston? And it's like 1, 2, 3, and like that, or is Charleston just 1,
1, 2, and, or 1, 2, the end? It's always a beat and a half away.
I thought that was really cool in that last section. Yeah. And you know what?
That's very soapbox opera, which is the Song of Sam.
Oh,
It reminds me of not Bowie's last album, but the one before that.
The Next Day.
The Next Day, yeah. He's got a song with that drum beat, and I was just like, wow, this sounds like that.
Yeah, Bowie and me were very alike.
Yeah, and I really like that album, and that section reminded me of that, and I really like that section.
That was an idea I had months ago, and I was like, this will be really cool to change the mood of something. And that first half of that song was very Sheeran kind of ballady.
Right.
I thought this needs shaking up a bit. So yeah, it's kind of like the progression of a drunken night. It starts off nice, but then of course in the lyrics he fights with his girlfriend over it, and then it becomes tumultuous and ends up in the waiting room. That's canon. I'm adding to
gunshot
it.
room.
With the gunshot ring.
He's confusing the characters, you see.
I see.
Right. Maybe they cross.
David Gilmour and
Maybe you can do a series where you know how characters cameo in each other's episodes, or like.
oh yeah, I'm totally doing that.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning, Sam. If we do a second series, I'm not going to have an original idea at all.
And then they wheel him in to get the gunshot wound out, and his surgeon is the Lobster King.
You might think that's ridiculous, but pincers, good for cutting meat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for cutting meat. Yeah, I guess that's what humans are, meat.
Hello, Ryan Eddie Hale here. If you're enjoying the show and want to stay updated, please feel free to follow us on whichever platform you're listening to this on. Also, if you would like to know when the next episode goes live, or want to receive relevant updates, plus lyrics and photos from each recording, make sure to follow our social pages on Facebook, Instagram, and Reddit. Furthermore, if you search Prompt Songs Recommendations into Spotify, we've set up playlists for each episode with a list of all the music that we've mentioned or recommended for easy access. Now, back to the show.
Round two.
Fight.
So. So
Clash
this
of the Songs. We're not sponsored by WWE.
So these prompts were taken out of the eggs, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
So I had quite a conflicting prompt here. I had I had industrial as my prompt, as my style. Do you want to explain a bit about what that means, Ryan?
Industrial music. Well, you can't really say it began anywhere because it's literally anything that's not an instrument being used as an instrument. So there's a German band whose name I can't pronounce, I'm sorry, but the guy Blixer Bargeld, his band is like a pioneer of making it accessible. They make their own instruments and combine them with real instruments, and it's quite harsh sometimes, but that's the whole point of the music, because they were from either West or East Germany, and they saw that society was like collapsing around them. So the music was like everything wrong with their society and just full of German rage, and it was wonderful. They've kind of mellowed out, but they're still fantastic musicians.
Right, well that, and then my lyric prompt was lying on your back floating down a stream.
Classical.
Floating down a river.
Yeah. A river of blood!
I did this in the last half hour of the time that I had, so I didn't really follow the rules of it being industrial. The only thing that really connects to being industrial is the drum sound that I use, which I think has a bit of a tin bucket kind of vibe.
They don't have to be exact, so long as the prompts inspire a song. That's the main thing.
Yeah, and I just tried to make it as noisy and crazy and weird as I could. I used a lot of effects on the guitar. The bass is very distorted, and my vocals actually, it's quite hard to hear what I'm saying because there's so many effects.
That's like my songs.
But so I've just called it industrial. There's only about 6 lines of lyrics, and I just say them over and over again.
Is this the sequel to your hit in the pilot called Bossa?
Maybe.
Yeah. Whoa, so many lyrics.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Lying on the back, floating down the river, right into the
Oh, cool, man.
Have we all been like? Are we all secretly wanting to be in a reggae group? Because this is fucking.
I don't know, yeah. Definitely goes a bit reggae in the end there.
Yeah, I love how first of all, I love the bass line.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Thanks.
For some reason, it reminded me of The Clash. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it was the tone of it.
Tone of it, maybe, yeah.
But, and then I really like how the guitar kind of like plays around it. I think after the second time through the lyrics, you started doing like a bit of an offbeat skank.
Oh, yeah.
And then near the end there, we like went to a triplet shuffle kind of thing almost. It was like really cool.
I think that's the most experimental I've ever heard you.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. I feel like it's a really arty piece. You'd play it in like an art gallery and people go, it embodies the rage in the young white male.
So how do you get the guitar tone?
The guitar tone is the POG. This is the pedal I've got, which is called POG, means polyphonic octave generator. You've got your main guitar sound, and then you've got 4 other octave options. So you've got 1 octave down, 2 octaves down, 1 octave up, and 2 octaves up. And so for that sound, you can get heaps of different sounds by blending them in different ways. But I took my clean guitar sound completely out.
Oh, okay.
And then I had 2 octaves up mixed with 1 octave down.
Oh, right.
We are not sponsored by POG.
And yeah, so that's that sound. But it's quite cool because some octave pedals you can't play chords, but this one I can do whatever I want.
You've had it for a while, yeah.
Yeah, a few years. So I played the bass line first. The bass line is the same through the entire song. I think I did the drums next and just tried to make it sound really sporadic and weird.
So there was no element of speeding up the guitar. That was all actually the speed you were playing.
The tempo stays the same the whole way.
Interesting, because it sounds like...
The bass it's all to a click and the bass is playing the same thing the whole way.
Because it sounds a bit like there's an artist from Japan who Adam and I both love called Shugo Tokumaru, and he has a song called Micro Guitar Music, and it's obviously him just recording to tape and then speeding it up 2 or 3 times.
Oh, right.
And it sounds like that. It's interesting. You were playing it in real time.
Yeah, I think I was just playing different subdivisions over it. Yeah, and that's how it gets into that like sort of grungy, rocky stuff at the start, and then it gets to more like funky and reggae and stuff. Just those different rhythms.
So how was it writing this song? Because this is like miles away from your Ed Sheeran one.
This one's really just I'm just sort of jamming.
Yeah,
I think
that's what industrial is. I think it's more of in the moment kind of
thing.
But was that a fun process, or was that kind of like a grind?
It was fun. I think I did a few takes of the bass, and then everything else I just did like 1 take of each. And then the vocals, like you notice at the end,
you just speak through the lyrics.
I sped everything up because I wanted to put another like sort of chorus at the end, and I realized I was running out of time, so I just said it real fast.
I've always wanted to do that thing of you can speed up a song to a certain point. I always wanted to write a full song and then like have a secret message that I'd just say and record, like a sentence, and then I'd stretch that out over the song and then see if when you put the whole song down to the original tempo of the words, if the words could be made out.
Oh, right.
And how the words would affect the song because it would be stretched out.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do it one day. Maybe I'll do it on a prom song. Maybe I've already done it.
Yeah.
I'm
go
glad
back and speed them all up, guys.
It's all connected.
I'm glad I did say the lyrics quicker the second time, though, because the first time, because of all the delay and stuff that's happening, you can't really hear the words that I'm not accenting are covered by the delays of the previous words.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas when I say them faster and more even, they sort of just like sound more like sentences.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah. Nice
I like the experimental
Yeah,
stuff.
nice to hear something really different from you.
What was your one, Adam?
My prompt, they were drawn from the eggs. The lyric prompt was one that Sam put in the eggs, and the lyrics were running away. The musical prompt was something that Ryan put in the eggs, which was the Kinks.
Hey! Yeah, they got me.
You really got me.
They have one song that I really like.
Waterloo Sunset.
No.
That's the one I really
Strangers.
Have you heard,
Strangers, have you heard that one?
I don't think I have.
I mean, the thing about the Kinks is not a lot of people know who they are. But if you ask a Kinks fan what's their best song, they're like, well, there's this, and they're absolutely right. The Kinks are so underrated.
They're kind of like Beatles-ish.
Yeah, they were the same time. They were part of the British invasion, but they got banned from America, so they couldn't really make it.
How'd they get banned?
Violence, I think.
What, at their gigs or them punching up
them punching each other kind of thing.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a band of two brothers, which Oasis would go on to reflect, except Ray and Dave, they're on good terms now.
All right.
But yeah, Ray Davis, probably the most underrated songwriter of the already successful bands. So many good songs.
And this song was really fun to write, and thanks to Ryan for playing tambourine and drums and guitar on acoustic guitar. I play the electric.
I've totally forgotten. It's been a while since we recorded this. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
I'm happy with how it turned out, so let's have a listen.
What's it called?
Right. He'll Be Alright, yeah.
This is the episode where we end on random chords, which I like. Can I just say, as a mild wanting to be more fan of the Kinks, that is so Kinksy. I got sunny afternoon vibes. He was singing like Ray.
Oh,
that was great.
The sort of whole group vocal thing.
Yeah, backing vocals I think you excel at. Like yours blend so well.
Yeah,
which is hard
really
to do as a single vocalist.
Yeah, the chord sequence in the verse is very of that era as well. Like they're really interesting chord changes that, and the way the melody sort of follows around the.
I don't know. I guess I just listen to like Waterloo Sunset a lot, and that does that. So I think that's what I was really inspired by, like playing the bass lines and stuff to the vocal melody rather than like singing the vocal melody to the bass lines. So
right, and the feel change is really cool too, where it goes in the halftime feel. That bit kind of made me think of like Benny and the Jets.
Benny.
It's that same tempo.
Not sponsored by Elton John.
Well, I remember when we were recording this, you were like, well, this is the feel, these are the chords. And I was just playing a drum beat, and I was like, I feel like I'm doing you a disservice because I'm just playing the standard drum beat. And then I'd listen to it in contrast with everything in the arrangement. And it was like, that's all it needs.
And I think I was kind of like, no, it's really good because this is one of those songs where before we recorded it, I actually knew what the melody was.
Yeah.
And so I could play all the bass lines to what I knew the melody was. And I knew where all those gaps were to play like bass fills and stuff like that.
And when we record it, I try not to inquire too much as to the final product, just so I do get a genuine reaction like this. So I recognize like, oh, that's some hot tambourine playing. But then I can hear everything else like the keyboards and the vocals.
For me, the icing on the cake is the tambourine and the keys playing. I'm really happy with the little
Oh yeah.
Be alright.
Actually, there's that melody that the keyboard and guitar playing it together.
Oh yeah, so
Something.
yeah, that's like I do it at the start and then
Yeah.
like,
There's something about the texture of those two instruments together that sounds really indicative of that era. It's
right,
like
yeah.
the organ and guitar combo melody. It's just
Do you remember how I mic'd the drums? I think I put a single mic between the kick and underneath the
Yes,
snare.
I think that's what it
And then
it
I did a
was, yeah.
stereo pair above my head, which I never do a stereo pair like that. And I was like, well, it's the 60s. They would have done shit like that. So when you were like, can you do an acoustic guitar? I was kind of like, oh, I'm going to have to move stuff around in close. So I go, actually, no. And I grabbed one of the overhead mics and I just played like a meter away from it. Because I was like, this is what they would have done. And it sounds like it.
Oh, okay.
it sounds
not
pretty
it sounds at
authentic,
lows. Yeah, it sounds like a 60s recording.
Yeah, I think
So
that's,
well done, me. I need some of the...
yeah, I think I'm really happy with this one. It's one of the ones
What are
where
your best?
Oh, thank
I
you.
will say, and there's a
I
lot to
reckon.
choose from.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I think last month I was like, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna start on the first night because that's when my best songs come out. And
Right.
this, yeah. So my Ed Sheeran one was done in like the last week, but this one was done like,
Right.
a lot earlier.
Speaking of lyrics interconnected, it's all in the universe. Your song referenced Friday night as well.
Oh yeah.
So I guess anything interesting only happens on Friday night in our song world.
Well, actually, mine also referenced Thursday night because
It's
like
Thursday night, you're getting ready for Friday night.
oh, I guess. Well, the idea of the lyrics in mine was like the Kinks always do like really literal story-based lyrics, kind
Sunny
of.
Right.
afternoon.
Yeah, the tax man's taking all my money and just stuff like that.
Telling tales of drunkenness and cruelty.
There we go. But yeah, that's kind of the first time I've written like super literal lyrics like that. And the first half is like this guy's girlfriend broke up with him. He's super sad, and then it goes into that first chorus, and then in the second verse, he's kind of like, you know what, I'm all right. And then it goes on, and he's like, you know what? Now that I'm single, I can go out on Thursday night if I want to. I don't need to be home on a Thursday night. I can go out.
Okay, so my second song. My prompt was from The Egg, and it was a musical suggestion from Adam's mother, our fan. Hi, Mum. It was a band called Big Country, who I'm gonna, fingers crossed, say they're Scottish. The Celtic, anyway, Celtic rock. I didn't listen to them too much, but they're very like 80s big hair rock, but they have the Celtic like inflections
was Irish.
and that area, the British Isles, shall we say?
yeah.
So like very melodic melodies in the vocals and stuff, and I wanted to really bring in the folk aspect of Celtic music, so I added a few folky instruments into this one. The lyric prompt was a bittersweet summer. The lyrics are very self-explanatory, and it's called Running On Down.
It was just a summer's day when I was there with you, sitting on the banks, occasionally enjoy the view. And then you turned and said the words that made me feel so blue. Boy, listen. You said that you were leaving town, didn't know when we'd meet again. Sorry to abandon someone she loved more than friends, but life would send her another way, so we would have to end. Boy, listen. My head spinning, couldn't sleep that night. Jumped out the window, headed out, my throat so tight. Climbed up the walls until I knocked upon her light. And when she let me in, I told her no matter where, I'd run, running on down to a run, running on down to a run, running on down to her door. Running on down to a run, running on down to a run, running on down to her love. You can take the boy turned him to a man. Life should be so cruel as to interrupt our plan. No matter where you go, I will be there, I will follow. You should take a chance on me. Where you go, I will be. Sat me on the bed. She told me she was moving on, nothing more needs said. I thought that she was over me, but her eyes were also red. Now listen, we've still got time ahead of us, let's not dwell on fate or chance. I'm spending every day with you, enjoying every glance. And if upon the road ahead I ever see your face, I'll come a-running on down to a-running on down to a-running on down to your door. I'll come a-running on down to a-running on down to a-running on down to your love.
That was really cool.
Nice. I like the walking bass lines.
I like the flute section.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, so speaking of that section, I did try the bagpipes because it was a Scottish band. And funnily enough, the bagpipes sounded shit. So what I did have, which was not Scottish but Irish, was a penny whistle that Adam's mother had given me when she had gone over there on holiday. And it happened to be in D, which was the key the song is in.
All right.
And can I just say, the penny whistle can go up to the tallest building and just admire the view. Because you look at that thing wrong and it squeaks. That took me so long. Because there's three. Yeah. There's a penny whistle, there's pan pipes, and a flute. I physically play the penny whistle. The other two are just keyboards.
Oh, right.
And I was so annoyed with it. I was like, this is so pathetic. So I'm going to add some extra stuff, and that's why there's a chaotic one. Because other than that, it's all acoustic instruments, acoustic guitar, mandolin, drums, and a floor tom. And tambourine, of course.
I love that, the walking and then going into the two feel. I think that was in, you're kind of like swapping back and forwards in the chorus, yeah.
Yeah.
The riff.
I've never heard the band before, but you definitely nail that like Celtic vibe.
I could imagine them singing that, and I could imagine them doing it in their like 80s full band style, but I wanted to like bring it back a bit and be like, what if they did an acoustic song?
Oh yeah.
Because that's kind of what Scottish and Welsh and Irish music is to me, is it's acoustic folk, and what that band did was make it electric, so that's already done. So it's like with Adam and Nirvana, like Nirvana had their quiet side, and that's kind of fun to explore because it's done less.
What's the song about?
It's one of those songs that could be interpreted in many ways, and I'm doing it in the horrible way. So it's about a young couple, probably like late school age. The girl takes the guy aside and says, hey, I'm moving to a different town, so we can't be anymore because it's too far away. And he's too attached and won't take no for an answer. Not in the rapey way, but in the like, oh, I don't want to let you go, I love you, blah, blah. And so he breaks into a room at night. You know how you break into your partner's rooms at night? And she's like, no, we've got the rest of the summer, we can enjoy each other's company. And the boy's like, well, no matter where you are, if I see you, I'm going to come back to you. And she reciprocates in the end, but in my mind, she's like, yeah, I'm never seeing this dude again.
Oh, okay, right.
The moment I found out I was moving, you were dead to me. So yeah, bittersweet summer.
Cool, man.
Next prompts. So yonks ago, we set prompts by going in one direction. So Adam gave me a prompt, I gave Sam.
By One Direction.
We are not sponsored by One Direction. So we're going to reverse that and draw on from the eggs. Okay, Adam, I want you... So you know how we have Christmas songs? And
I'm aware.
you guys grew up with religious households. You know how we have Easter songs, aka Jesus songs. What we don't have is a good supply of Halloween songs that are not spooky, scary, skeleton. So I want you to do a Halloween song
Okay.
in the style of the Sex Bombs from Scott Pilgrim vs.
yeah.
the World,
I've got to go get a Rickenbacker.
and listen to
And,
Beck, because Beck did all the
Oh,
music.
true, yeah.
Because I know that you love that style of music in that film just as much as I do.
That's cool, yeah.
And so I think it'll be cool to have a Halloween song in that style.
Awesome.
We're not sponsored by Edgar Wright. Sadly,
That would be cool.
that would be awesome.
Okay, Sam, your prompt. The band is AC/DC,
Cool.
and the lyric prompt is drugs and violence.
Drugs and violence.
Something you're all too familiar with, Sam.
Yeah.
So,
Man.
I don't know, I think that's...
You've got an SG, you're halfway
I
there.
do. Shoot.
Just
I'm looking
straight
forward
into
to
your
it.
Marshall.
And you know how to play Thunderstruck, right?
Oh, yeah.
You can play it at
Yeah.
full speed and impress your students. I think you
Just
told
to-
me.
Oh, I've listened to a fair bit of AC/DC from being a guitar teacher. And also
yeah.
from being Ryan's friend who went through
That was
it.
like my second favourite band, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went through a few phases. I think it was Queen, and then it was AC/DC,
And then it was Led Zeppelin.
then Led Zeppelin. Yeah.
Yeah, I went through an AC/DC phase when I was about 17.
That was the first band I saw live.
Oh,
Actually,
real? Man.
First proper band. I saw a Queen tribute act first. And then I saw AC/DC on their Black Ice World Tour, so that was the last of their main lineup. So I got to see Malcolm Young before he got dementia. And the Checks were the first opening, and that was the first time hearing the Checks. And then She Had opened,
Oh, man, that would have been
and
cool.
then AC/DC played. And that was, yeah, as a 14-year-old boy, I was not big enough to be in that mosh pit. But I got to crowd surf, that was fun.
My first
Yeah.
ever concert was Roger Waters.
Oh, that's
That
good.
was so
Was it the
cool.
Dark Side of the Moon tour? Because Sam and I went
No.
to see The Wall.
I think it was...
Just a random
can't
tour.
remember. Yeah, just a random tour. They definitely pulled out the giant pig balloon, released it into the air, which was awesome.
We got a pig, didn't we, because of The
I think
Wall?
so. Yeah.
We also got a plane crashing
Oh,
into the
real?
wall, which was amazing.
A real plane? A real wall?
Pretty much. It was
Wow.
like a warplane size.
Far out.
That was an amazing show.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I kept on waving at Roger like an idiot. I'm pretty sure he saw me and just ignored me.
Yeah, my appreciation of AC/DC's gone on a wave. I think when I was in my early to mid-teens, I was into them. And then I think I just got oversaturated because their songs can sound similar. And I just
Do.
thought, oh, they do sound similar. And I just thought, oh, yeah, AC/DC's like all their songs are the same, and kind of got bored. And then more recently, well, I don't necessarily listen to them, but I can respect how like solid they are.
Yeah,
They're
there's a
very
really
tight.
amazing clip because Rolling Stones did a tour in 2003, and rather than get a new band, they're like, "Who should we get to open for us? How about AC/DC?" And they did "Rock Me Baby," an old Suicide song, and they get Angus and Malcolm out to jam with Ronnie and Keith, and you can see the surprise on Mick Jagger's face when Angus starts soloing because it's like, "Oh, this guy can solo."
Yeah. And I think it's
yes.
actually like just great music to like stomp around to. There's like
Yeah.
it's actually got a really
powerful.
good groove to it. Like
Yeah,
it makes you want to move, I think.
it's really solid rhythm section with Phil,
Yeah.
Cliff, and Malcolm.
Actually, that reminds me of a story of who was that guitar tutor who used to he taught at Auckland University. I think his name was Lance Sewer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard
He
him.
told me a story about how I can't remember who he said it was. It might have been him or someone he knew. Like ended up seeing AC/DC in the studio rehearsing, and what they were doing was the lead man was stomping his foot, and the whole band were going just so they can get that tight doing this.
Oh, right.
Well, there was a Bon album, Let There Be Rock, but that song, Angus's amp caught fire halfway through the song, and that's the take that's on their
really?
record because their older brother, George Young, who was recording them, was like, carry on, and that it didn't affect the sound quality.
Well,
but
it must have been a hot take.
yeah. Well, there are people who say that after they use the studio after AC/DC, and they say it's like getting into a warm bed.
Oh, really?
I was like, that's such a good metaphor.
Yeah.
All right, I've got my prompt now. So we were talking in the car earlier about how there's this new trend of pop punk kind of coming back. Generally, they're female-led pop punk bands, but that's okay. We're
I mean, I can become a eunuch, sure.
But yeah, so I was thinking like,
I'm not sponsored by the Catholic Church.
I was thinking not necessarily pop punk, but just like early 2000s rock.
You can say pop punk because then I'll just do a fucking Beat Crusaders song.
Oh yeah, pop punk about
Who also do a great cover of AC/DC.
Yeah, they do a good they do a quick version of Thunderstruck.
and the lyric prompt is about a breakup.
I can't relate, Sam. I'm afraid. Sarcasm. Okay.
A lot of those songs are about breakups. So I just thought,
Yeah. Okay. I accept. Okay, so that's one prompt each, and we will do the eggs because the eggs exist. We're going to be changing the eggs because these are big and bulky. You can't see, but maybe you've seen on our Instagram page. I've recently purchased 2 smaller tins of some candied confectionery. We are not sponsored by Skittles, which will probably take over, and so they won't be the eggs. They will be the I don't know, what would we call them?
The tins.
The tins. Yeah. I'll go first then.
okay.
Because you guys are still deciphering yours.
I'm still opening mine. It's very tightly screwed up.
Thanks. So my music prompt is from Sam. It's dream pop, not pop punk, but dream pop. And then I've got a lyric prompt from myself. Use sentences from page 57 of as many books as you like. So this will be fun. I have a lot of books. This is going to be a co-write between me and Stephen King.
Cool. Okay, so my musical direction is at least 2 keys. So I need a key change in there somewhere.
Or you could play music using keys.
Yeah.
Industrial.
two different keyboards.
2 different keys. Oh yeah.
Or car keys. There's a lot of ways to interpret it. And the lyric prompt is from Yvonne.
Which is your mum.
My mom.
Hi mum, thanks for listening.
The lyric direction is lists.
Okay.
As the composer or writing lists?
It's spelt like writing lists.
Okay, like a shopping list.
Like a shopping list.
We are not sponsored by Franz List.
All right. So I got 2 prompts from Ryan. The musical prompt is hip hop.
Yes! It wasn't us, Adam!
And you said you wanted to hear me do hip hop at one point, I think.
Please make the lyrics rap.
And the lyric prompt is a letter to a friend.
Like Stan from
Yeah.
Millennium.
Ah.
Except for that's not really between friends. That's like between a Psycho fan and
Stand for prompt songs.
prom songs.
Do you think we have any stands? Probably not.
I think the closest thing is my mother.
The entire song's just Sam being like, do you write yours sincerely, yours truly, kind regards? What's the best formality?
No, it'll be cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Recommendations, guys.
Yeah, so I'm doing teachers training at the moment, and one of our assignments...
Show off.
It's really not much to brag about.
It's such a competitive wage.
We had this assignment recently where we had to create a assessment for MusicWorks, and we had to choose our own song we had to choose the song we wanted to write it about. I chose a song by Count Basie Orchestra called Hey Burner, and it's from the album Basie Straight Ahead, which you guys might remember playing that song Basie Straight Ahead in high school big band. But yeah, I did Hey Burner because we played that song in a band that I used to play in, and it's really cool. It's got a really cute melody because it's got flute in it, flute and trumpet, muted trumpet playing together. It's a really nice sound. That whole album's just really cool. If you interested at all in swing music or big band music, then
I feel like
it's just
flute and
cool.
clarinet are really underrated in jazz music.
Yeah.
They really stand out in the best ways.
Yeah, it's just such a sweet song. And then I found out that the word Hay Burner stands for a racing horse that doesn't win. Or racing a really unsuccessful.
Burns through the hay.
Yeah.
I see.
And it's
such
just
a cool term.
it's just a really cruisy, like cute little bouncy sort of song, and you just imagine like a horse just like not giving a crap and just eating all the hay and
Not knowing one day it'll be dog food.
But anyway, that
We're
whole
not
album's
sponsored
amazing.
by the races.
We're not sponsored by the glue factory either.
Shoot.
Yeah, that's what happens to the horses.
Yeah. Oof.
So for me, recently I went back and listened to like an album that I used to listen to in like 2009, which is an album called Cross by a band called Justice, which is like Justice is a French club duo. They're like
Daft Punk, but not.
Yeah, they're basically the second most awesome French club duo behind Daft Punk, rest in peace. And yeah, I just listened to it and I was like, wow, this is like amazing. so much thought put into every single sound. Like it's samples and stuff, and then like keyboard sounds and guitars, and there's a mean slap bass solo, and
I know why you like it now.
and a song called DVNO. Yeah, it's just like I was into Daft Punk when I was in high school as well, and it's just like the continuation of that. Like, it's really cool.
So when I started getting into music, I was very into like late 60s, early 70s, and still am. That's still my favourite period of songwriting and performance. I was very aware early on of a band called The Faces, which was known for making Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood, later of the Rolling Stones, famous. But then I found out about the precursor band to it, which was the same rhythm section, plus a man called Steve Marriott, and they were called The Small Faces. And I didn't know much about them, but I knew they existed, and I knew of their song called Lazy Sunday, which has got him singing with a full Cockney accent, which is hilarious. I knew that they had this big album called Odgin's Nut Gone Flake, which, you know, what? But I'd never listened to it because I never was big into music piracy. Just recently, because I have Spotify now like a modern person, I listened to it, and holy shit, I've been wasting 10 years of my life. It is an early example of psychedelic music, and I love psychedelic music. The first half is just blues rock, psychedelic music, awesome lyrics, the band gels so tight. And then the second half, it's about 6 songs that tell a fairy tale about a guy who notices that the moon is only half full, so he's like, where's the other half of the moon? And it's about his journey to discover what happened to the other half of the moon. And the music's amazing, and there's narration by a man called Stanley Unwin, who has his own language called Unwinese, which is just like gobbledygook English, but you can listen to him and be like, that's nonsense, but also know exactly what he's saying at the same time. It's a fun album just to like whack on and listen to it from start to finish, and then wonder what would have happened if the band hadn't split up after that album. But at least we got the album out of it. So
Cool.
if you like any kind of classic rock, you've probably not heard of The Small Faces, and give that album a listen.
What's the album name again?
Odgin's Nut Gone Flake. And it's in the shape of a tobacco tin, so when they first pressed it, it was circular, it would roll off the shelves.
Oh, wow.
So they eventually decided to make it square and just have the label as a circle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it means.
Right.
I don't think it's meant to mean anything.
Yeah.
But Lazy Sunday's on that album as well. Cool, how are we going to end this one?
Did you? Oh, you did say your prompt.
I did say mine first, yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.
Oh, hang on.
Go the fuck to sleep.
I'm getting a call.
Oh, really? In the middle of a podcast?
Yeah. Guys, it's the Skittles sponsorship. We got it.
We're gonna be rich! Oh my gosh, we're gonna ruin our teeth. It's okay, we got Skittles money!
we got Skittles money.
We are not sponsored by Skittles.
Yeah, no, we're actually not. That was not a real call.
Yet!
That's it for this episode. To access lyrics and photos from the recording of the show, or just to stay updated with releases and relevant news, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Reddit. Your support and feedback is much appreciated, so leave us a comment on what you enjoyed, or send in a prompt of your own that you would like one or all of us to tackle. Thanks for listening. Catch you next time. Brum Songs Podcast is the independent work of Ryan Eddie Hale, Adam Riddell, and Sam Swindells. All music featured is original, and all relevant rights belong to those parties.